Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome back to my humble neck of the YouTube woods. Just a quick video today. I'm kind of winging it in regard to reaching the 100 Platinum Trophy milestone. And I just thought it might be interesting to discuss different philosophies and outlooks on trophies or achievements or whatever the case may be, because I know there's a vast gulf of varying opinions, everything from not being bothered about trophies whatsoever, and other people that can get quite fixated on the trophies. And I jotted down a few notes over there just about my kind of trophy philosophy or experience. And I really just kind of scribbled it down. Half of it I'm looking at now and I can barely read my own handwriting, so that's always good. And let's see, I have here that the first trophy that I ever earned was on Dead Space on the 27th of the 10th 2008, and the latest trophy I earned, which was the Platinum for Fallout 76, was the 4th of the 5th 2023. So just under 15 years of trophy shenanigans as a predominantly Sony pony. And it also says that my current trophy level is 493. Total trophies are 11,484. And that breaks down to 100 platinums, 592 gold, 2,106 silver, and 8,686 bronzos. Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I recall back in 2008 when I was playing the PlayStation 3, I recall actually beating Resident Evil 5 and Metal Gear Solid 4, Gun Through the Patriots, and there wasn't any trophies attached to them. And I think I returned to them a little bit later on, and a patch came in, and all of a sudden the trophies were there. And I remember when I was playing Dead Space and seeing that trophy pop for the first time, I was like, what's this? It intrigued me. And I think, because Resident Evil is such a close series to me heart, my mutated Irish heart, I decided to try and challenge myself to get the platinum, get all of the trophies, and accept the challenge of Resident Evil 5. And that ended up being my first ever platinum. And I have very fond memories of that because an awful lot of it I did co-op with one of my best buddies, George Mann. And he was actually a hero in that trophy run, because if any of you have gotten the Resident Evil 5 Platinum Trophy, I really struggled at that part with Endesu, Wesker's version of El Gigante, the enhanced kind of Plaga giant, and you're shooting him on the back of the car with the machine gun, and I just died on that so many times, and I think George was just a hero and managed to beat that, and the rest of the game, doing co-op with him on professional was just kind of fun. So yeah, I have a few little things written down here on like the 3 easiest platinums that I got over that 100, and for me personally it doesn't get much easier than Telltale. So I have The Walking Dead, my 10th platinum, but my first experience with a Telltale game, and obviously the narrative is intriguing, but it's very simplistic, and of course it was the first time I'd ever completed a game and the platinum just pops like that, Then I have Game of Thrones, which is another Telltale game. That was my 29th platinum. And that was interesting because there was a certain decision in that game that had me thinking for ages. I went down and had like 2 cups of tea while I was mulling it over. I know you're supposed to make the decisions fairly quickly. It's part of the fun. but sometimes I will actually find myself pausing the game and analysing it and really thinking what's the right thing to do from time to time, you know. And then of course another Telltale game, which is The Wolf Among Us, which is marginally more difficult platinum because you didn't get the platinum just for beating the game. You had to do something small, little, play the game a little, play a second playthrough and unlock something in a little notepad or something, and then the platinum was yours. So yeah, I'm not one for getting really easy trophies, especially not platinums. You know, like the infamous My Name is Mayo, for example. There has to be something about the game that I genuinely like for me personally to go for a platinum, or just to play it and get a half decent trophy score. The next one I have is my 3 most fun platinums. Platinum number 32, which was on the PlayStation 4, a game called Hardware Rivals, and it was an online kind of car destruction game, akin to Twisted Metal, which I was fond of back in the day, but albeit a lot more brighter and wasn't quite as somber and dark, if you will. Yeah, a lot of fun with that game. I actually put like 10 videos of that on the channel, and it got to a point where I learned the maps and the tactics and stuff like that, and I was getting like 22 kills with 0 deaths, and just having fun with seeing if you could just get as many kills as possible without dying in each map. A lot of fun. Resident Evil 5, which was my first platinum, as I mentioned, but that was a lot of fun because I remember doing co-op with my buddy George. Couch co-op, in fact. A dying art these days. You really have to go out of your way to kind of meet up and sit down and play like we all used to back in the day with the multi-tap. And then Fallout 76, to be honest with you, my 100 platinum was just a lot of fun. And I played through that with my eldest nephew, Thomas Finn. So yeah, that was a lot of fun too. 3 most relaxing platinums I have down as the Resident Evil Remaster on the PlayStation 3. That was platinum number 22, I think, for my writing here. And yeah, that was just so relaxing because I knew that game inside and out from playing it on the GameCube back in the day. And it was just a pleasure playing through it again on the PlayStation 3. A lot of fun, just great. And then I have Far Cry 5 as my 75th platinum. That I was just really surprised at how fun Far Cry 5 was, to be honest with you. I didn't think I'd enjoy all that Americana shenanigans and the theme, but God, it was just easy, fun gameplay for the whole thing. I even made a level or two and explored a little bit of the online shenanigans. And then of course you can't mention relaxing platinums without my 99th platinum, a game called Lake. And that was just a really relaxing game, true and true. If you've ever played it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I have one special mention here for my strangest platinum, which is a game called Knights of Azure 2. It was number 77 on my list. And this was in a month where I had a particularly quiet month, and I applied to that PlayStation Now, which meant you could, for that month, for €10, I think, don't quote me on it, you could just kind of download and play as many games as you could in that month. And this was I kind of took it to just playing obscure, stranger games that I wouldn't ordinarily go for. And I played the first Knights of Azure, and I enjoyed it, It's essentially like a scantily clad, female-dominated kind of vampire, demon type game, basically. It's a bit of a mishmash, So it's definitely the strangest platinum I personally have, hands down. And the 3 most difficult platinums, which is the last little thing I have here, is Shakiro. That was my 83rd platinum, and my god, um, my friend George loves the Soulsborne type games, and he roped me into playing this because of its connection with Tenchu, Stealth Assassins. We both loved that game back in the day. But I was not naturally good at Sekiro. You'll see the masters of the game, once they master the parrying system, they're quite phenomenal. I never mastered it and did everything the hard way. So yeah, that was a tough platinum for me personally. I scraped and clawed and just persevered through that game and managed to get the platinum. The second kind of platinum of merit on difficulty was my 24th platinum, which was Resident Evil Revelations 2. And yeah, I had a hard time getting that platinum as well. I just recall invisible enemy mode giving me an awful lot of guff. Some of the bosses, Alex Wesker, giving me an awful lot of guff on the harder difficulties, obviously. And then Bloodborne, of course, I have in as my 34th platinum. God, it was that long ago. And that's similar to Sekiro. It's a Souls-like game that I had to kind of persevere on. But unlike Sekiro, it did get to a point where I got that spear, the shotgun spear weapon, and life just got a lot easier from then on in. And I persevered and managed to get that platinum as well. And I have a little section there scribbled down saying my favourite platinums overall during the 100 platinum journey is Resident Evil's. Any Resident Evil platinum that I got was kind of extra special just because, I thoroughly enjoyed that series of games and have so much nostalgia and fond memories for each era. The original era, mostly for me personally, the fixed camera angles, more puzzles. That's my personal favourite, but I have love for each era of Resident Evil myself. And yeah, I have a good few of them over the years. I didn't actually write them down, but on the videos that I've been pretty much keeping tabs on from the beginning of this trophy journey on the channel, and on my most recent one I always put just a little quick scribble down list of all the platinums I've gotten thus far. I think I have like 7 or 8 maybe Resident Evil trophies. Some of them eluded me. So yeah, I just kind of thought it would be interesting to get you guys to mention what your personal trophy / achievement philosophies may or may not be. For me, I have a really simple rule of thumb, which is I'll go for the platinum up until the point it's not fun anymore. Because primarily I play games to relax and to unwind, and I never forget that. So if for whatever reason it gets a little bit too tedious or a little bit too difficult, or just too grindy, collectibles have scared me off getting platinum trophies. And I have one of my nephews, Patrick Finn, he actually really enjoys the collectibles, looking up a guide and collecting everything on the map and stuff, and I really don't find that fun. And there has been a few occasions where I've pretty much done everything in the game, but just really wasn't in the mood of watching a video or a guide and just go around the map and pick all these things off. But yeah, so that's my basic philosophy, would be play it until it's not fun anymore and know when to kind of walk away. And the vast majority of the time, especially if it's a narrative driven game, I simply will play the story to completion and enjoy that. And as long as I have like a half decent trophy percentage, I have no problem walking away. As you can see by my dodgy statistics, I don't attempt to platinum every game I play by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. Just a quick little kind of video. I felt like just for memory's sake, it would be nice to put a little quick video on the channel for the funky little triple digit platinum milestone. So I love you and leave you, and look after yourselves and each other, and slán a bhaile. Game on.